Today I yelled at and lightly threatened a stranger in Chick-fil-A. And by lightly threatened, I mean I told her that I would take her to the ground by the neck to see how she likes it. Let me just tell you the story, okay? So we are camping. It's kind of the middle of nowhere. There's not a whole lot to do, but there's a Chick-fil-A around. So me and the kids have been thoroughly enjoying going to Chick-fil-A. It's fantastic because there is one entrance, one exit. It's safe in there. I can just let the kids go run in there and play, and I get to just sit my pregnant butt down. It's great. So we were there. It was during the day. TJ was with me. He was working across the way. I'm sitting there enjoying my salad. I get to eat in peace. I have 2 toddlers and I get to eat in peace. Just imagine that. I love it so much that I'm really thinking about having like a date night at Chick-fil-A because it's the most peaceful place I have been with 2 toddlers. Anyway, sorry, that was a squirrel. So we're having a great time, okay? And then this lady and her little gremlin show up, okay? So I'm watching, like, her kid, it's her youngest. She has several kids, but her youngest is about 3. She's a big kid, but like she looks to be about 3, like face wise and all that. My son is 1.5. So she's going in there and she's playing really rough with them. So I'm just kind of sitting, watching, observing, because I mean I have a 4-year-old girl and she plays somewhat rough with them, but like not too rough, you know. Whereas this girl, like, she was getting a little rowdy. So I was just watching and I'm like, well, you know, he seems okay. Well, then she finally takes him and pins him up against the play place wall by the neck. Her hands, like, around, like, on his neck. I'm like, alright, that's it. So I go in there, I grab him, I'm like, I have him sit by me, he's eating, like, we're still having a good time. Well, then he wants to go back there, like, back and play. And Gremlin is eating her food, so I'm like, okay, sure. So I let him back in there. Well, she sees him go back in. So she goes and she gets him by the neck again. Alright? This happens 4 times. 4 times! This child follows my child into the play place and gets him by the neck. So the 4th time, freaking pissed. Like, she's got him on the ground in a chokehold this time. So he's like just yelling out, which usually, like, this kid, like my kid, like, he can take a punch and like just like, not like a punch, but he can take like a hit and he's fine. He's the type, he falls on his face and he gets back up. But he's like, oh my gosh, like, leave me alone. So these other boys that are in there playing, they're like 7 to 10, they're trying to get her off of him. By the time, like, I make it in there and all that, so like, as I get up, because I see it happening again, and I'm like, this dead blasted girl's got him again. So I go in there, the mom was sitting right next to me, so she sees and she follows me. So I like go in there and pry him from Gremlin's grip. And each time I would go in there and get him, I would tell her, no, we don't do that. You don't need to get him by the neck. But this time I'm pissed. So I'm like, no, stop doing that. And I put on my hip and we're walking out. So the mom, she grabs a Gremlin and she's following me. She was like, oh, she was just trying to give him a hug. I was like, by the neck? No, she's not trying to give him a hug by the neck. This is the 4th time I've had to go in there and save him from her. Because she's got him by the neck. So by this point, like, we're walking out. So we're in the lobby full of people. I'm pissed off, so I'm yelling. And I see her eyes start darting, and I'm like, she's embarrassed. I don't care. I don't care. So she's like, immediately turns on victim, you know, just. So she was like, oh, she barely touched him. I was like, lady, she had him on the ground by the neck, and there were other kids trying to get her off of him. You can't tell me she barely touched him. What delusional state are you living in? I didn't say that part, but so I said, and she's still following me, and she's like, she was just trying to hug him. I was like, okay, how about I hug you like that? How about I bring you to the ground by the neck and see how you like that hug? And this, again, delusional woman is like, she's like, fine. Seems like you could use a hug anyway. Now, full disclosure, I have spent 11 years training in mixed martial arts. And when I tell you, it took every fiber of my being to like get the self-control to turn my back on her. It really did. It hurt. It hurt. So I was like, I turned my back on her and I refused to acknowledge her presence anymore. She was still back there in her little mouth, but I was like, we gotta go. We gotta go. Because otherwise, I'm gonna hurt this lady. I'm gonna hurt her. Lady, if you ever see this, if you are the lady with the little gremlin, and that happened to you in Seneca, in South Carolina, screw you. And I hope that you get everything that's coming your way. You probably will by defending your little gremlin's bad behaviors. So good luck with that. Goodbye.